Uh, this thing on? Okay. Yeah, it's on. What is that? Oh, okay. Alright, good day, everyone. So, yeah, this video has been a long time coming, but here it is. Kama Sutra. Don't worry, you're gonna be seeing this book a lot. So today we're gonna be covering the preface. What's called preface. Like I said, this was supposed to be my first video, but something happened, came up, and it wasn't. But anyway, welcome to my channel, guys. We're gonna be analyzing in this video and many more in this series the Kama Sutra. We're gonna be discussing its implementations in our Western society. But before we can get into the good stuff, I'm pretty sure I could like you could tell from the cover of this book was like just so what's the word? I want to say this book was marketed at a certain demographic, and it's based off teachings that are very old. But enough talk of that. Let me start reading some of the material off to you. And yes, I know, oh Broderick, while you make a video you sound super sick. Because kids, later on I have some training to do, and I didn't want to put this off any longer. So yeah, let's get into the material. Alright, here we are at the preface. We got a picture of the dude who made the book himself. Can y'all see that? Yep, there you go, kids. Be like story time. Every country's literature has among its treasures of the written word a number of works dealing especially with love. Everywhere too, the subject is dealt with in a different manner from various points of view. This book is a most comprehensive translation of the most authoritative work on love in Sanskrit literature, the Kama Sutra, Aphorisms of Love by, I'm gonna butcher this guy's name, but you all just correct me in the comment section. Vatsy Anna, divided into 7 books in 36 parts. The evidence concerning the date of the writing and the commentaries written on it are examined in the introduction. Before commencing in the translation of the books, however, a brief mention is made about similar works written by authors who wrote years after Vatsayana, but who still quoted him as the chief guide in Hindu erotic literature. Alright. So yeah. Basically, guys, took from there. There's this dude who was This guy had to be obsessed with love. Like, obsessed with the concept of love. Who knows how long he's been like stewing with these notions. I'm gonna call them notions. That he had wrote a book this long, like 36 parts. That's a lot. There's gonna be a lot to take in, guys. So yeah, don't expect this to be a 2-hour video, just me. No, we're just gonna go over the preface right now, and I'm gonna work my way through it in further videos. So yeah. Okay, yeah. These are the Tartesayava, translated as Secrets of Love by Koloka? Again, if I butcher this, you know, just go to the comment section. Hey, put the pronunciation out there for me. But yeah, Kolakua, a poet, composed the Raiha Yasha to please someone called Vinduta, who was perhaps a king. Writing his own name at the end of each part of the book, he addressed himself as Sada Pattaya Pandita, an indigenous man among learned men. His work was translated into Hindi long ago, and the translation he was referred to as Koka. Yeah, well, that's what we're gonna call this guy, because Kokaka is not hitting it for me, guys. So yeah, we're gonna just, whenever I'm referring to him in the future, it's gonna be Koka. So yeah, there's that. With this abbreviated form of his name replacing his full name in other languages in India, the book and the subject began to be properly called Koka Satra, Doctrines of Koka, which is identical to Karma Sastra, Doctrines of Love. The Ratira Asha comprises nearly 800 verses and is divided into 15 parts called Pashavidas. Some of the subjects dealt with in this work are not to be found in Vatasinyas. The author of the Kama Sutras, that guy name, it's a hard one to crack, guys. But yeah, just know this is the other author. This Koka guy is not the guy named Vasya. Yeah, and well, basically, Vasiyana's translation, such as the 4 classes of women. I'm gonna get bashed in the comment section for that. I can see some feminists right there. She's gonna write in the comment section, he doesn't even know how to pronounce the women's pronunciation of the word. I'll be like, should I really be concerned with that? But yeah, let's move on. The Paimina, Chitrina, Sankakina, and the Hassani. as also the enumeration of the days and hours on which the women of different classes were simulated towards love. Kokaka claimed that his knowledge of these subjects was garnered from the wisdom of Goni-Koputra and Nadi Kaseva, both of whom have been mentioned by Vaidsyana, but whose works were not now extant. It is difficult to fix a date or year in which the Ratisi Hasso was composed. It can, however, be safely presumed that it was written after Vatsyana's tomb and was prior to other works on the subject that was still extant. Vatsyana himself referred to 10 authors whose work on the subject he had consulted, but none of them which is extant, and Kokakana's name does not figure among them. This led to a logical conclusion that Kokakana wrote after Vatsyana else. Vatsyana would surely have made mention of him with the others he referred to. Alright guys, basically it's just a rundown on how this book came to be, and at this point you can see there were a lot of guys who had, this wasn't something that was just put together with just, you know, no effort, which makes me question, why did they put this together? Like, among the Hindus, like, what made them put this together? Like, there had to be a reason. There had to be some reason that this book was, like, put together. But, maybe that'll be a question we find the answer out to as we go along in the book. I read this entire book, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't ask the question at the time because I was just absorbing the information, but it does make me wonder, now that I think about it, why was this book put together? Okay, but continuing on, Pachi Sayaka, 5 Arrows by Jocharivara. Jocharivara, the author of Pachi Sayaka, was the most celebrated poet, the keeper of the treasure of the 64 arts, and the best teacher of the rules of music. He said that he composed the Pachi Sayaka after reflecting upon the aphorisms of love as revealed by the gods and studying the opinions of Goni-Koputra, Maladidava, Bhairava, Ramatadeva, Nadi Savara, and Kishamini. None of these appear to be in existence now. His work contains nearly 600 verses divided into 5 parts called Sayakas or arrows. So yeah guys, we got another poet here. Another poet who had his place and had his part that he played in the creation of this book. Now, Hindu culture seems to have its place in history at its time, and maybe if I go along with this, with this book, and then I'm going along with my analysis, maybe I'll do some research into some of these guys' history, and bring it up in videos in this series, just to give you all a little bit more context of who these guys were and what they did. Don't hold me to it. It might be a thing, it might not be a thing. But we have, I think, 2 poets so far. Strangely, it doesn't mention if Vasiliana was a poet himself. Nah, it doesn't. But we have 2 poets, 2 guys. I'm going to believe it's going to be a recurring thing. And then we have, let's continue, Samudra Paripika, translated as Light of Love by Gunamaka. I'm not kidding you guys. I tried to pronounce this the best way I could, but that's how it came out. In fact, you all can see that. That is probably how it comes out. The author of the Samudra Pika was the poet, we have another poet, the son of Vashapati. His works comprise of 400 verses and dealt only briefly with the doctrines of love, dwelling on other matters. Wish they kind of, well, you all find out those other matters as we read the book. But they're there. And then we have Ramadi Jarka, Garland of Love by Jayadevi. Another poet, apparently. The work of the poet Javidadi Mati Jara is very short, only containing 125 verses, written in an elegant style, probably in the 15th century. And Rasa Manjara, The Sprout of Love by Banudu Date, the author of the Rasami Jara, was a poet called Bulhandidata. The last verse of the manuscript indicated that he was a resident of the province of Tarut and son of a Brahmin called Geshinawa. Alright. Oh gosh. who was also a poet. Written in Sanskrit, it portrays different classes of men and women through their age, description, conduct, and behavior. Comprising of 3 chapters, it has not been possible to discern its date. Anagaranga, Stage of Love, by Kalalami Mala. Ragna Agnanga Ragna was composed by the poet Kalamala for the amusement of Lacan, the son of Abed Ladi. Lacan was also named as Ladanamo and Ladanamla. He was supposedly a relation of, or had a connection with the House of Lodi, which reigned in India from AD 1450 to 1526. That should give you a context of how much long ago was this stuff even comprised. I'm glad I didn't just jump into the introduction. I want you all to really see like how long ago and how far back this stuff goes. Oh God. The work would therefore have been written in the 15th or 16th century. There you go, kids. This goes back to the 15th century. Containing 10 chapters, it was translated into English, but only 6 copies were printed for private circulation. Properly believed to be the latest of the Sanskrit works on the subject, the ideals in it were evidently taken from previous writings of the same nature. The contents of all these works were in themselves a literary curiosity. Both Sanskrit poetry and drama are suffused with a certain amount of poetic sentiment and romance, as are the literatures of other countries. The difference, however, lies in the fact that Sanskrit literature portrays love in a plain and simple matter of fact manner, as Venus is the epitome of feminine beauty in Greek literature. The Hindus prescribe the Pandamini, or the lotus, we're going to call it lotus woman. We're not going to try to go back into that, well, I'll try, but if I can't get it out in a clear-cut way, I'm just going to say lotus woman as the perfect representation of the same. Alright, let me just show you all some pictures. Let's get some picture going. Pictures, guys. You see, we were on this page. She in whom the following signs and symptoms appear is called eponymity. Her face is pleasing as the full moon. I want you all to really notice that whole moon reference, guys. Her body well clothed with flesh, as soft as the shiras or mustard flower. Her skin is fine, tender, and fair as the yellow lotus, never dark colored. Her eyes are bright, and her eyes were bright and beautiful as orbs of the fawn, well cut with reddish corners. Her bosom is hard, full, and high. She has a good neck. Her nose is straight and lovely. and 3 folds or wrinkles cross her middle, about the umbilical region. Her yoni or vagina resembles the opening lotus bud, and her kama salati or love seed is perfumed like the lily that is newly birthed. She walks with a swan-like gait, and her voice is low and musical as the notes of the kolala kaku bird. She delights in fresh raiments and fine jewels and the rich dresses. She eats little, sleeps lightly, and being as respectful and religious as she is clever and courteous, she is ever anxious to worship the gods and to enjoy conversation with Brahmins. Such then is the Pananini, the lotus woman. Boy, what a description. They said they don't want her skin is never dark. But guys, I gotta say, that skin looks pretty dark to me. Maybe it's just a well good tan. I don't know. Maybe it's just the artist's depiction. But that looks kind of dark. I swear, YouTube, if you try to flag this video because of a fucking picture, I don't know. I'm still going to continue the series. But I don't know. They didn't flag my video, and they have pictures of Liv floating over on the wall. So I don't think it would be a problem. Sanskrit language then goes on to give detailed descriptions of the Chatrini, art woman, the Shakakini, conch woman, and the Hasani, elephant woman. It elaborates their days of enjoyment, their seats of passion, the manner in which they should be wooed and treated during sexual intercourse. It emphasizes the characteristics of men and women from various regions in India. The details are numerous, and the subjects have been dealt with seriously and at very great length. And guys, that's it for the preface. So let's go back over some stuff, shall we? So first thing I would like to touch upon is these authors. Now this is, at this point in time, this is going to be based on speculation. Speculation at this moment. But believe me, I'm going to be doing some, like I said, I'm probably going to do some digging into these authors. Dig up as much overall information as I can, with a possible time length, given that I have some constraints on what I'm going to be doing later on the day. But I'm going to do some research into these authors, just for, clarification. Like I said, don't hold it to me if you don't see a video of it. But if you hear me discussing in a later video about something about the authors that I had searched up and looked up, just know I've went back and done some research. But like I said, I'm probably going to put a video out on that as well, just to have clarifications off the ground. But these authors were all guys who were poets. And I think the only one who probably was not a poet was the Vatitiana. I think he was the only one who wasn't a poet. And you know, Vatitiana, he lived through the 1st century. And things were quite different. But if you take a look at his work has been referenced in popular media. His work has been inspiration for countless movies and countless other things. And it's even still, his work is even still regarded highly today. But my question is that a good thing? That's the thing I kept banging my head against when I was reading this. Is like, why is this so influential in our culture? Why is this so widespread? And a lot of the Kama Sutra is very, very extensively. You have to take an open, just to read through some of the material, you have to go into it with a very open mind, guys. It's some very heavy stuff and goes into some very unorthodox topics. Look, I'm not gonna say I have any type of dealings with on a romantic level with women at all, so I can't say I've put any of this stuff ever in practice in my entire life, because I have not. But apparently for it to be able to have books that cost like $25 and still being purchased to this day by people, apparently I guess it works on some type of level. But one of the things I want to get through with this is why is it something that have such reference? Why is it so used? And I'm not gonna bash anyone, but poets were imaginative people. They were very eccentric. And you don't have to look too far. I mean, Dante Alighieri, who wrote the Divine Comedy, was exiled. So you can see it's not just always all the case where these guys were just loved by the whole world for the viewpoints. But that aside, these implementations that have been made in our society has led our society to where it is today, and whatever instrument, tricks, and whatever shenanigans that have been concoculated from these things and from these influences. I pretty much believe they have a cause and effect on a lot of the situations we see arise in our cultures and in our societies today. So I'm gonna end the video off at this point, and next time when we come back, we're gonna dive into the introduction. I don't want to like throw myself too much into the preface, as it's just a lot of catch up for how it came to be, and I really much want to like to go analyze the actual content. Like I said, I will come back if possible from an analytical standpoint once I do research on these authors. And fuck you, Stefan. I'll take my investigations from these authors and lay those out in videos about these guys and give kind of a good viewpoint on what I think about them. But let me think. Let me if you all know anything about these authors, I've done research about these guys, put it in the comment section, because Kama Sutra is a very interesting work. And the more information I have to analyze this thing, the better.